I think your flower needs a bit of water.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Okay.
So you said you were feeling a bit down.
What's happening, bruh?
I had a lesson to learn.
A lesson to
You know,
learn.
when I said my friend went overseas for a father,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt sad, but I brought her back on Sunday, from the airport, picked her up, dropped her off, come home, and I had 2 days of almost feeling like a heaviness all over me. And I said to my wife, it's not one thing, it feels like almost like a rainbow of heaviness. And they haven't got the things I've written out on the bit of paper, do not worry, do not take offence, stuff like that. I can't remember what it is now, but showed her that. So don't take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
Still didn't click. And I was thinking, what is it? And I said to Yahusha, what is this hanging over me? And he said, follow the vein.
Yeah.
And I thought, a demon trying to pull me away again. Yeah, I've actually felt it this time. I felt the demon.
And what avenue would he use? Because we've all got our own avenues. We've all got our own temptations. We've all got our own past that he tries to drag you back into.
Yeah.
So yours is a very spiritual, cosmic, thing that he tries to draw you back into.
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't it?
It is.
But what do we discover that it is?
Well,
Is it spiritual?
yeah. I think
Or is it an abomination?
Well, probably it's abomination.
Probably.
Yes, I probably think so. I'm not sure what it's connected to yet, but as soon as I said to Yahusha, what is it? How can you point me in a direction? How can you help with this?
Yeah.
And he said, follow the vein.
Yeah.
And it's like immediately it went.
Because where does the vein go?
The vein through Yahusha's
What do you
gate.
go into the vein for?
He just said follow the vein. So we're going through Yahusha's door
Yeah.
into the the knowing Yahusha, and into the new heart, and into the burning of the soul to get it right.
So you've got the explanation kind of down pat.
Yeah.
But what's the experience like?
Well, it's
If you're following Yahusha,
following.
what did he do?
Well, he notified me to keep on
He died.
going through the vein.
He died.
Yes, he died.
That's what the vein is. It
That's
is
it, to follow
the
him.
death of you.
Yes.
So it's one thing to know all the terminology.
Yeah.
It's another thing to go, I feel like crap.
Mm.
What's he getting my attention about?
Yeah. I
This
just think
blanket of heaviness and the way you speak and the spiritualism that you've adopted is not Yahusha.
No.
It's a
No.
mixture.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
That's what he's telling you.
That's it.
Mm.
It's
Follow
the-
my vein.
Follow the vein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're mixing the
Yeah.
worships.
So he doesn't want to be,
I haven't worshipped anyone else.
he doesn't want you to fit. He doesn't want you to try and fit him
No.
into your week. Try and fit him into your life.
Yeah.
He wants to blow apart your life.
Yes. That's the
Blow apart your routine.
soul.
Blow apart the peace that you might have been trying to attempt to get in your home. Blow
Yeah.
apart the relationships.
Yeah.
Blow apart everything and come in and do it his way.
That's it. Yeah.
You can't just
Properly.
fit Yahusha into your little routine.
No. No. That's
Nothing wrong with having a routine
No, that's it.
to get
Like you
through
say.
the day, but
As long
when
as
he
he's
makes
with it.
himself known, it's pretty volatile sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling things in that way,
Yeah.
I'd be getting cluey,
Yeah.
like he wants your attention.
Shifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Because we come to him with certain personality
Yes.
Traits.
Yeah. Yes.
and a lifestyle and things that we think are important,
Yeah. Which aren't. Yeah.
everything in this life that we think is important, the way we live, dress, eat, drink, go here, go there, the things that we think we live and die by,
Yeah.
You know,
Or not.
is it going to make it through the vein, the filter, into the new kingdom,
Yes.
or is it going to burn up?
What's going to burn up?
You know,
Yeah.
we can be as healthy and trying to put as much effort as we can into all the things that we see in our bodies and everything like that, but it's just going to burn up
Yeah.
if we haven't gone. So you heard what he said,
Yeah.
the vein.
Follow the vein.
But
Yeah.
what the vein is very, it's not pleasant.
No.
No,
It's
not at all.
it's,
No.
it's, it's fire.
Yes. Uncomfortableness, fire,
Yeah.
you know, change,
Mm.
but all for the good.
But it's exciting that he's making himself known to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely is. It was a clear answer too. Follow the vein.
Yeah.
When was it that you actually started feeling like that? What day did you pick up the friend?
No, friend on Sunday, but Monday I started suddenly feeling like not talking, not doing anything really. Just felt flat, you know. I
Mm.
thought, oh, yeah, what is this? You know, well, I can't pinpoint anything. You know, nothing said anything. Nothing's happened out of the ordinary. Things are always happening, obviously, following the same things that are happening. And I thought, oh, I'm so used to it. You know, it's not like it's suddenly become an issue.
Mm.
So yeah, and it was weird, and I suffered it for, well, I thought it was 3 days, but it was actually 2 days, because, well, part of today I was out in the garden, you know, just trying to reattach to nature again, and I just said, oh, Yahusha, what is
What
this?
part of nature are you going to attach to?
Oh, grass. With my feet.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
See
the
how
mixed
you talk,
worship.
see how you
That's it.
explain yourself, see the hippie
Yeah.
culture that you've... I don't care you wear your hair, I'm talking about the spiritualism.
Yes.
We can smile our faces, but
Mm,
Yahusha created all that.
he did.
You don't connect with that.
No.
You don't take your shoes off on earth. You know, you don't...
No.
You know, I know the
It's
terminology.
Still the old
The-
way.
Yeah, you connect with him.
Yeah,
You
just
connect with him.
that's exactly right. I mean, I had my shoes off, but I did ask you.
Yeah.
You know, so I fully understand what you mean. You know,
Yeah.
any hippie stuff is man, isn't it? It's not Yahusha.
It's man without Yahusha trying to connect, trying to
Yeah.
find some kind of spiritual connection, because the scripture says when we look around, Yahusha's made it obvious that he exists
Yeah.
through everything that he's created. So therefore, if man doesn't have the spirit and man is depressed and lonely, man looks around going, he's here somewhere.
Yeah.
So they worship the sun, they worship the stars, they worship the trees. They take their shoes off and worship the ground, thinking there's energy in the ground. Like that, they, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yes, we do. Yeah.
Now he's in all those things, but he wants us to get him, his
Yes.
attention.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Not
Mm.
not here.
So you kind of got to start from scratch and just
Yeah.
stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. No.
Yeah, he's saying to me that's a mixture.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not
Spreading
worshipping
this
him
No.
and him alone. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's another god or, you know, another person or nature or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's anything other than him,
Yeah.
it's idolatry.
Yeah.
Because what's the difference between you then and the guy down the road who's worshipping the trees,
No.
mixing up his little potions and making his
Yeah.
herbs and what's the difference between you and him? If he's trying to be happy and he's calm and he's zen and he's all these, what's the difference between you and him? And he'll tell you, I'm spiritual too.
Yeah.
I just meditated all day. He'll tell you, how can you tell me you're more spiritual than me?
That's it. Eh? You're not.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, how do you prove that to him if you're doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just following the same
I mean,
path.
I'm not picking you out. We've all got
Oh,
our
no.
own stuff that we've got to put off. We all get tempted and distracted and
Yes.
drawn into things that we have to say no to.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
but-
definitely.
We'll just talk about you right now.
Yeah. I wanted to say it so, you know,
Yeah,
an examples out there, you know,
yeah,
can be so easy to be
yeah,
taken away, you know,
yeah.
without, you know, I thought I was doing pretty good, you know, but then it's like,
Well, that's why he's getting your attention. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's saying you've got a mixture. Stop the mixture.
yes,
I
Mm.
don't like it.
no. That's
Yeah,
right.
he hates mixture.
Yeah.
Mm.
No mixture. It's
Follow
him
Yahusha.
and nothing else.
Yes.
Mm.
That's it. So that's what what you've got to see what he's saying to you.
Yeah.
Because they were the first words that he gave me. That's a mixture.
Yeah.
You're not worshipping me and me alone.
No.
And that's who you should be worshipping, you know, adoring and giving all the credit to.
Yes. Lesson learned. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
You're not coming hard on you or anything.
No, I need to know. You know?
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, you know, think, oh, you're following Yahusha, but you're not. Like you said, if you're, you know, if I'm looking at the grass and getting all my energy, I'm not following Yahusha.
No.
Not as much as I can. You know?
You say to him, thank you, Yahusha, for everything that you've given, you know, the beautiful trees.
Yeah.
You're praising and worshipping him and giving him all the thanks and everything for everything that we have in our lives, and everything that you see in your life.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, you're thinking that it's coming from the earth or, you know, from the trees or from whatever, and not him, then he's saying it's an abomination.
Yeah.
Because it's, like you said, it's a mixture.
It's a mixture.
But it's also a counterfeit.
Yeah.
Like Satan takes everything that Yahusha does and copies it.
Yes.
Like Yahusha said, that like Yahusha lives in, you know, unapproachable light. He is the original energy, the force, the power, all these things that Hollywood and the world has copied.
Yeah.
Yahusha did it first.
Yes.
So how do you connect? How do you feel him? You talk to him.
Yeah.
You know? So if you feel, and he shows you through your feelings. We don't walk by feelings, but he shows you. So if he said, like, you're feeling upset or this wave of feeling down, well, that's him saying,
Come on.
knock, knock, talk to me.
Yeah.
Or it could be direct. I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like that.
That's it.
And if you then try and connect with him through your old ways,
Yeah.
he won't respond to that.
No.
You know. So because you're associating something that is man-made to something that is him.
Yes.
You
Yes.
Like
He says, forget all earthly
know?
things.
I'm doing what I want to do, but I'm calling it Yahusha.
Yeah.
He hates that.
Yeah. That's it. Well, you can see why.
Yeah.
You know. So, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Making that clear.
Yeah. Did your wife have any words of advice for you?
Oh, you know, she thought it was her, and I said, oh no, it doesn't feel like one thing. It just feels like this big cloud over the top of me, you know, and I can't figure out what it was. But it could have been Yahusha saying, no, I don't like this. Perhaps I'm starting to get that now. You know, a bit of the fire, but a gentle approach.
Oh, don't worry, you'll know when you get in the fire hard.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
say I want to be there, so get through it.
And if you're going to start professing Yahusha and saying that he's the truth and he's the right way to be in the quarry that is your home, if you're going to start doing that, and you're living with someone who doesn't believe the same as you, if you show any kind of upsetment, are they going to be happy or sad?
Sad.
You reckon?
Well,
No, they'll be happy.
Happy that I'm sad.
If you're trying to put forth if you're trying to put forward that this is the true way,
Yes.
and the other person isn't in it,
That's how I see what
and yet you're getting tested,
and you've stumbled. It can't be that good.
can't be that good if you're out. Yeah, I don't have to change. Look at you.
Yeah.
You know, you can't keep it together.
No.
Why should I? You reckon you got the truth?
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah, that's it.
So she's
pretty much.
was she in agreement? I never asked you. Was she in agreement with your old mindset with all the
Yeah.
what would you call it?
And the support.
Meditation and all that? Did she do all that?
She didn't do it, but she was happy that I was doing it.
Oh, so she wasn't in that either.
No.
Okay.
No, she's really into sports.
Okay.
Just doing that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So everyone's got their own thing, haven't they?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They have to come out of. Yeah.
True.
Good.
Thank you so
That
much.
makes sense.
It does. Yeah. It does.
He wants to completely change us,
Yeah.
transform us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the old ways gone. His way.
Mm. So you heard him though, the vein, but I'm just elaborating on what the vein means.
Yeah. No.
It's a process where you die and turn into someone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't do all those other old things.
And the mixture can't enter the vein.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't get through the vein.
Won't get through it. So that's why he's telling you. He wants you getting through it.
Yes.
And that's why he's telling you this way. That's why he made it so that it felt like basically a wet blanket over you.
Yeah.
Because they're heavy.
Yeah, it is.
You feel like things like that happen to you in your week?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Mm.
What does it feel like?
Terrible.
Yeah. And how do you acknowledge what do you do about it?
I really try to find the problem that started it.
Yeah. And do you
Yeah.
find it? And then what happens?
I usually fixed it.
And then how do you feel?
Way better.
Yeah?
Why does it sound working now?
Yeah? What about you, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah? You get tested like that?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah. How? Talk to me. How?
I have to figure out, how to fix it. Maybe I said something to someone or, thought something. I just have to fix it. Like, if I feel like if I, said something to someone and then I, feel that afterwards, the only way I can really get that to go away is when I actually go to that person and actually talk to them about it and fix it up. Whether it be like work or, yeah.
Where does this happen mainly?
Well, mainly at work, with people I work with, but it can also happen at home and stuff.
Yeah. What's he doing?
Quick.
You're right, man.
Quick drink. Does anybody need more drink?
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because it's very real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
It is.
Very short amount of time. He doesn't want us just going on our merry way. We haven't got long left.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
We've got to become useful.
Yeah.
You know? So
It's less than 2 years now.
Yes.
So you go, you ask yourself, how am I going to be useful to his body? Not everybody can be a toe, not everybody can be an ear or an eye, and everybody's got different parts of the body. What use am I in the body, you say to yourself? Locally, in the community, and also globally. If you have no tech skills, there's not much you can do reaching the globe. But if you've got people skills, which are all developing or either have, you can reach your community. You can,
Yeah.
and it starts in your home.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
The quarry of your home,
Yes.
yeah, good.
where every stone is shaped
Mm.
to fit in the new city.
Mm.
Because that's what we're all striving for,
Mm.
is to fit.
So I'd be asking you about every single thing in your day, in your life, in your week, in your routine. You're like, is this helpful for me? Do I need to be doing this?
Yeah.
In the next 2 years, how's this going to affect my life?
Yeah.
So, we had a meeting with Chris and Victoria's son on the Skype.
Oh yeah.
He's a personal trainer, and he's given us all these techniques and diets and exercise and all sorts of things. And it's really, and he does it for a living, and he's really good at it, and it's really exciting. But you've got to balance it, because I'm going,
Yeah.
what do I want to walk around the beach? Oh, forget it. I've got 2 years left. And I'd like to feel a bit better, but
Yeah. It's not even about looking, different. It's about feeling good, being able to have that longevity in your day, because
It's
otherwise
flesh.
otherwise you're exhausted,
Mm.
and if you've got work to do for Yahusha, how can you do it?
But it's flesh. You've got to balance it.
Yeah.
It's your flesh. How do you feel good?
Yeah.
It comes from within. So that's what you've got to look at.
Yeah.
So, yes, run everything by it and say, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Is this really useful for me?
Yeah.
Do I want to do this and this and this and this and this so I can live for the next 100 years? You don't have to. You're not going to. You're not going to. That's what they all say. If you alter just this little thing in your life, you'll live 20 years longer. No, you won't. Whole Earth's going down.
That's it.
So, I'm not saying be an idiot. I'm just saying you got to know.
Kind of
It's just
generally
useful
look
for me.
after the body that carries you around.
Flesh and the
Don't,
spirit.
Yeah.
Flesh and spirit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's start then.
Alright, so today we're doing Hebrews 7 and 8.
Beauty. Oh, he's coming now.
Yeah, of course he is.
Hurry up, she wants to start.
So I'll just do a little recap of last week. So we went through 5 and 6, and it was about Yahusha and what he did for us, and how he's an anchor, and how he was actually made the high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So that's just a brief recap, and there's a reason I chose that bit, because if we start reading, you'll understand. Robert, you want to start us off, mister?
For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High Alahim, met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings, and blessed them. And to him Abraham apportioned a tenth of everything. He is first, by translation of his name, King of Righteousness, and then he was also the King of Salem. That's it.
That is
King of Peace. He is without father or mother or genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but resembling the son of Alahim, he continues as a priest forever.
Okay.
Good, man. Very good.
So, as I said in the recap, Yahusha was made the high priest after the order of Melchizedek. So, for this Melchizedek, so he's talking about Yahusha. He's the king of Salem, priest of the Most High Alahim. So he is everything. He's our high priest. It says he met with Abraham. He blessed, and Abraham gave him what he could. 1/10 of what he had. Here you go, have it. Didn't know exactly who he was, but just gave it to him. You know? And what about that? He is first, by translation of his name, King of Righteousness. And then also King of Peace. So, and we know that. We know that of Yahusha, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, Mikey, you can go next for me, mate.
See how great this man was, to whom Abraham the patriarch gave 1/10 of the spoils, and those descendants of Levi who receive the priestly office have a commandment in the law to take tithes from the people, that is, from their brothers, though these are also descendants from Abraham. But this man, who does not have his descent from them, received tithes from Abraham and blessed him who had the promises. It is beyond dispute that the inferior is blessed by the superior. In the one case, tithes are received by mortal men, but in the other case, by one of whom it is testified that he lives. One might even say that Levi himself, who receives tithes, paid tithes through Abraham, for he was still in the loins of his ancestor when Melchizedek met him.
What about that? So, the descendants of Levi who received the office, they were given it, but they didn't have to do anything for it. Yeah? And you'll understand a bit later on. So he didn't have any, Yahusha doesn't have any descendants, does he?
No.
Doesn't have any ancestors. He came down just him. People would say, oh, Mary is his ancestor. Well, technically, yes, but he had to be conceived a certain way. He doesn't have a father that, you know, everybody else has, like you and me and everybody else, you know. And then he says about the tithes. Well, tithes are received by mortal men. It's very interesting that he says these particular words. And as we read on, we'll understand more. Rob, you want to read next for me?
Now, if perfection has been attainable through the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need would there have been for any other priest to arise after the order of Melchizedek, rather than one named after the order of Aaron?
Stop there for a second. So, what about that? Why would there be, if the Levitical priesthood was so good, like the Jews all claim, we've got a priest. Well, we do have a priest, and it's Yahusha. He's our high priest. But they claim that they've got a Levitical priest. It's saying that, well, if that had been so good, then why did another one need to rise after the order of Melchizedek? It would have been named after Aaron, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So it's funny that he's saying that in Hebrews to them. Why would he be saying that to them? Yeah? Just have that thought in your mind. Why is that being said to them? Yeah? Alright, continue on, Rob.
For when there is a change in the priesthood, there is necessarily a change in the law as well. For the one of whom these things are spoken belonged to another tribe, from which no one has ever served at the altar. For it is evident that our Master was descended from Judah, and in connection with that tribe Moses said nothing about the priests.
What about that? So, you know, the Levitical priesthood was from the tribe of Levi, weren't they? Well, Yahusha is from Judah. So how can they claim?
How can he be a priest?
As they said, how could he be a priest? But how can they now claim that we've got a Levitical priest when the high priest that we should be looking up to is from Judah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to read that?
This becomes even more evident. When another priest arises in the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become a priest, not on the basis of a legal requirement concerning bodily descent, but by the power of an indestructible life. For it is witnessed of him, you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
What about that? So, he's got an indestructible life. And we know that. He was killed and rose. So, who'd want to go after the Levitical priesthood? Who get killed, that's it, you're gone. You're dead. You're not coming back.
No.
I'll go after Yahusha, please. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
You want to be there? Yeah?
That's a good idea.
Alright, good.
Definitely.
That's it. Robert, you want to read again, Boo?
From the one hand, our formal commandment is set aside because of its weakness and uselessness,
Slowly.
for the law was made
For the law made
for the
nothing.
law made nothing perfect. But on the other hand, a better hope is introduced, through which we draw near to Alahim.
What do you think that means? For on one hand, a former commandment is set aside because of its weakness and uselessness. What commandments you think they're talking about?
The Ten Commandments.
The Ten Commandments. That's it. So they're saying they're being set aside because they were weak, they were useless. They did nothing. What did the Hebrews do back in those days? They didn't follow those, did they? Not at all.
Didn't change them.
No. It's interesting that he's saying it in this way because people still believe that we are the chosen people. Well, the chosen people are those that are called and those he has actually chosen.
Yeah.
Yes? Those who follow Yahusha, not those who follow the old ways, but those who follow Yahusha's ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to go?
What verse?
20.
20. And it was not without an oath. For those who formerly became priests were made such without an oath. But this one was made a priest with an oath, by the one who said to him, "The Master has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever." This makes Yahusha the guarantor of a better covenant.
What about that?
Mm.
They were made priests without an oath, but he had to take an oath. He had to, didn't he?
Yeah.
His oath was to die and rise in order to sacrifice himself for the sin of everybody. The Levitical priest would never did that.
No.
At all.
No.
Can you stop that, please?
Sit still, bro.
Thank you. Yeah? And what about this makes Yahusha the guarantor of a better covenant? I think it says it all. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh no, you've got to go back, you've got to go back." Well, it's telling us in plain English. Yahusha's way is far better than every other way.
Got to go back to Abraham.
Yeah.
Who was Abraham given the title to?
Melchizedek.
Who's Melchizedek?
Yahusha. That's it.
Does Yahusha live back there?
No.
Or was he here with us?
Here.
Well, he was back there, but he's also here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Exactly right.
So, you know, he did what he needed to in order to get his message across to those who were at that time, as he does with us today.
Totally.
Mikey, you want to read next bit? You finish it off for me?
The former priests were many in number because they were prevented by death from continuing in office. But he holds his priesthood permanently because he continues forever. Consequently, he is able to save the uttermost those who draw near to Alahim through him, since he always lives to make intercession for them.
Prayer.
Prayer for.
Keep going.
For it was indeed fitting that we should have such a high priest, set apart, innocent, unstained, separated from sinners, and exalted above the heavens. He has no need, like those high priests, to offer sacrifices daily, first for his own sins, and then for those of the people, since he did once for all when he offered up himself. For the law appoints men in their weakness as high priests, but the word of the oath, which came later than the law, appoints a son who has been made perfect forever.
Speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know? He's been made the high priest, he's set apart, he's innocent, he's unstained, he's got no sin. But he died for everybody's. And he's exalted above everything, even above the heavens. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
So he has no need to offer a daily sacrifice because he offered the ultimate sacrifice and the final one. There is no need for any other sacrifice.
No.
So these people who keep thinking that we're going to build a temple and we're going to offer sacrifices and we've got a Levitical priest, what have they got over their eyes? They've got, as that said, a veil over their eyes. They cannot see. Yet it is in plain English. You know, that you can see this stuff. I mean, who would want to go back to what that was? Something that's been fulfilled.
Yeah.
It tells us.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very true.
Move on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
That's it. Alrighty. Hebrews 8. A long paragraph, Mikey. You're going to have to read it. You get the long answer.
Now the point in what we are saying is this. We have such a high priest, one who is seated at the right hand of the throne of the majesty in heaven, a minister in the set-apart places, in the true tent that the Master set up, not man. For every high priest is appointed to offer gifts and sacrifices. Thus, it is necessary for this priest also to have something to offer. Now, if he were on earth, he would not be a priest at all, since there are priests who offer gifts according to the law. They serve a copy and shadow of the heavenly things. For when Moses was about to erect the tent, he was instructed by Alahim, saying, "See that you make everything according to the pattern that was shown you on the mountain." But as it is, Messiah has obtained a ministry that is as much more excellent than the old. But as it is, Messiah has obtained a ministry that is as much more excellent than the old as the covenant he meditates is better.
Mediates.
Mediates is better, since it is enacted on the better
No
promises.
meditating in this covenant, thank you.
Nice.
For
Watching. Watching.
For if that first covenant had been faultless, there would be no occasion to look for a second.
Yeah.
What about that paragraph there?
Yeah.
That says it all, doesn't it?
Yes.
We've got the high priest. He's seated in all authority. He's the minister in the set apart places. So he's the minister in Shemayim, he's the minister in our hearts, in our lives, in our homes. Yeah?
Yes.
He tells us what to do, we tell you what to do. Or we tell you what to do, you know? Because he tells us.
Yeah.
So he gives instruction, we do what he tells us. That's how I see what that says. Yeah?
Yeah, there's a structure, there's an order.
So he's the top of the hierarchy. Nobody above him. Even though Satan thinks he is. Yeah? There's nobody at all above him. Yet all these people keep trying to push. Go back to the Ten Commandments or go back to Abraham. Well, no. They're not above Yahusha. Yahusha is the highest that we can get.
Yeah.
And he's saying to all of us, be like me. Follow the vein and be like me. Die to everything. So that way we can just continue on. Yeah? And be like him. Love everybody the way he loved everybody.
Yeah.
Give yourself to people as he did. You know? Even if it means listening to somebody whinging and complaining. Just do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Just do it. Do what he wants us to do. All day, every day. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it says there, if the old covenant had been faultless, well, if it had been faultless, there would have been no reason to have a second one. Or to look for a second one. Well, it wasn't faultless, and we have a second one now, don't we?
Yeah.
And the second one is the one that we need to follow.
Yeah.
And people keep trying to take us back and take us back and take us back.
Yeah.
But if we listen very closely, we will hear him. Rob heard him say, follow the vein. Because there's always somebody trying to take you back.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah?
True.
Always. Don't you want to read next for me?
For he finds fault with them when he says, behold, the days are coming, declares the Master, when I will establish a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not like the covenant that I made with their fathers on the day when I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. For they did not continue in my covenant, and so I showed no concern for them, declares the Master. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, declares the Master. I will put my laws in their minds and write them on their hearts. I will be their Alahim, and they shall be my people. They shall not teach each one his neighbour and each one his brother, saying, know the Master. For they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest. For I will be merciful towards their iniquities, and I will remember their sins no more. In speaking of a new covenant, he makes the first one obsolete. And what is becoming obsolete and growing old is ready to vanish away.
What about all of that? Everybody's trying to take us back to the old.
Oh.
Abraham, Moses, all of that. Everybody keeps trying to take us all back.
Yeah.
Telling us that's done away with. It's obsolete.
Are they doing that to get us away from Yahusha, or because they have more control by taking us back?
It's a control thing.
Yeah.
Where it was talking about tithes. That's what they're doing it for.
Yeah.
To make money.
Yes.
So people will give them money. So they keep taking you back to the old ways.
Yeah.
You go back to the old ways, guess where you're going? To destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're basically saying, Yahusha's not good enough, they're better. In saying that, you're basically saying Yahusha didn't do anything for us. Well, I'm sorry, but Yahusha did everything for us.
Yeah.
He laid down his life for us. And that's how it is.
Yeah.
What did you boys all get out of it? Robert, let's start with you.
I got that. We need to make sure we're not going out of vein by accident.
Yeah?
Going out of the vein.
Yeah. And to always follow Yahusha.
Yeah, good. What about you, Don?
Well, I just loved everything he said. Yeah.
Yeah, but what did you get out of
I just thought it's laughable that they want us to tithe and offer and go back, and the whole thing about the priesthood was very interesting. The fact that the highest, most revered system that they all have, the Jews and the Orthodox and all of them, is this pattern, the Levitical pattern.
Mm.
The pattern they were given when they came out of Egypt. And yet, that pattern was in the loins of Levi, who was in the loins of Abraham. And who did Abraham give tithes to?
Melchizedek.
So it shows, as Paul's saying, that you just have to look to Yahusha.
Yeah.
Many try and even prove that Melchizedek was just a man, just Shem or one of Noah's sons or somebody wandering around, just someone. Yeah, they even try and take that away from him.
Yeah.
But no, it was Yahusha. Yahusha was there right back then, and that's why we're following his priesthood.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Priesthood of righteousness and peace. That's what Melchizedek means, king of righteousness and king of peace.
Yeah.
That's why you go in the vein, to become righteous and to have peace. The two royal laws of love and the fruits of righteousness, one of which is peace.
Mm.
He is our peace. He's broken down that dividing wall between the old and the new, the old stuff and the new covenant. You know, there's peace now. We don't have to go through all that to get to Yahusha.
Mm.
We can go straight to Yahusha.
Yeah.
And there's people standing in the door, like you're saying. There's people standing in the door saying, no, you gotta just, I'm glad you're free, I'm glad Yahusha died for you, but yeah, you still gotta do this and say this and wear this and eat this and you still gotta do all this stuff. You know, you still gotta do the literal 10 commandments. But if you're loving your neighbour and you're loving Alahim more than, you know, if you're doing those, you're doing it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but no, they want to know you've still got to rest, literally rest every seventh day. You've got to do 7 feasts a year, and you've got to wear tzitzits, and you've got to be circumcised, and you've got to eat, blow shofars, and eat this and don't eat that, and it's all fleshly, outward stuff that they call on for righteousness, but there's no righteousness out there. The righteousness comes from within, and it's got to come from something new.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, that's my rant.
Fantastic.
You want to rant a bit? You want to rant a
There
bit?
you go. What do you get out of it all?
Just one line stands out to me there. Not, I can't make it out like Mark did. But it says, the tent the master set up, not man. So
What was it?
it says in here, in the true, going part way through it, in the true tent that the master set up, not man. So
Yeah.
he's created it,
Yeah.
not man.
Yeah.
So we're following man if we're doing old stuff again.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mackie. Last but not least.
We can't dwell on the past. We need to see where Yahusha's going, where he's taking us, follow him, not just kind of grow old and not listen, like, you know. Like,
Full of hearing.
yeah, full of hearing, yeah.
Full of
We
hearing.
have to be aware of where he's taking us, what he wants us to do, and do it.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Took my friend for a bit.
You can say whatever you like.
Say it a bit more.
Why would what's his name? Abraham
Abraham.
say that he had no father, mother, or connection?
Oh, yes, he did, didn't he?
It'd
Yeah,
have to be usual, wouldn't
it can only be that.
it?
And plus, if you think about it, the town is possibly describing as actually possibly a glimpse of the future city.
Yeah. That's right.
Something beautiful and perfect. Something almost impossible for a man to do.
It is impossible for man to do. But with Yahusha's help, we can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah? But only with his help. If we don't believe in him, trust in him, and give ourselves over completely to Him, then we won't become like Him. And we won't reach eternal life and the city.
It's true.
So that's why He takes us through the narrow gate into the vein. The vein of deliverance, basically. So you go spirit baptism, fire baptism. The fire baptism can last, a day or two, or it can last years if you are not willing to change. Then He takes you into the quarry. Once you're in that quarry, He's just getting you into the right shape, right mould, so you'll fit perfectly within the city, in the spot that He's already chosen for you. Because He knows exactly where every stone fits. Yeah? Just like when they built Solomon's temple, they made the stones away from there and they just sat them, each one where it needed to go. That's what He's doing with us. Shaping us so that we will fit exactly where we're meant to be. So anytime you get this jab or you get a, don't feel right, why not? Work through it. Listen to Him. He'll tell you, you're not doing this right, or I want you to go and do this, now go and do it. And He'll keep going until you do it.
I want you to respond straight away.
So that's how we need to be. We need to be like Him.
Absolutely. Brilliant word, darling.
Yes.
Amazing.
It's getting better and better, isn't it?
It is.
What else did you see when you were thinking about the tent? What's the tent mean in Scripture? What was the tent?
Yes, tent is it.
It's a body, yes, you're right. It's a body. Well, what was the first tent? What was the first tent?
The temple.
That was the second one. The first one was a tabernacle, a temporal tent. Moses was given that. And then all that was given again to David. But he was a bit chaotic, like he was a man of war and he wanted it to be built silently and peacefully. And Solomon was a man of peace. So David gave it to his son to build. And Solomon built a temple. And so it was done in the same pattern that Moses and David were given. The pattern that he said, make sure you do it to the pattern. Of course, the tent and the temple is a shadow of our body. Well, Ezekiel came along and he saw a vision and he was taken on like a bit of a journey into the temple. He had a vision and what was supposed to be going on in the temple wasn't. They had all these carvings on the walls of all these images from the sky, what we call the Mazzaroth, the astrology, the zodiac. They look into the stars and they join dots together and look, there's an
eye in there.
Yeah, that's your star sign. They had all this going on in the temple. Mixing it in with the pattern. So, and that was very shortly before Babylonians came and destroyed the whole thing. So, and Yahusha let that happen. Yahuwah let that happen. So that's what's happening in our temples today. We've got all these things around us that are mixing in the tent. So things that we get an idea and go, oh, that sounds like a good idea. You got to check that idea. You've got to check that thought. Because it might be something you've been told in your past, it might be something from an old mindset, trying to sneak in and go, oh yeah, Yahusha likes that, and then if you let it in and you believe it and you behave it for a little while, and then you feel fire, well that's him showing you. Don't like that. Don't want that in my temple, because we're his temple. So that's why if you feel a certain way, You got to go, why do I feel like that? What have I done? What have I said? What have I thought?
Yes.
Even thoughts.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you said before, you know, you don't have to do something specific physically. You can think it, and that's you know adultery right there. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
An adultery by just thinking. Oh, that's my quiet thoughts there. No one can hear them.
No.
Oh, he can hear them.
Hear them.
He can hear everything.
Yeah.
No one can see where my eyes are going. No one can see what I'm thinking. No, Yahusha
Yeah.
burns it.
Yeah.
Doesn't like it. Yeah. So there's a counterfeit spirit in the world right now. The pit has been opened up. Revelation says the pit's been opened up, all the spirit's been let out.
Yeah.
That's why it's just mad out in the world right now.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
there's a counterfeit going on.
Yeah.
And Satan's pretty clever.
Oh yeah.
If he can convince you that you're cool, you can worship this way because Yahusha likes it.
Yeah.
No, it's okay, it's spiritual.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's all good.
It's not.
Yeah.
You should, when we get a chance, research spiritualism. Type it into Google.
Yes.
Spiritualism. And then you'll
Yes.
find out where all the source of all your... Well, it all comes from what I said about the temple,
Yeah.
the mixture of the swill, the zodiac, it all comes from Babylon.
Yeah.
But you'll see in the 1900s it had a big resurgence of talking to the dead and looking at the stars and astrology and
Yeah.
trying to find your aura and your chi and all this
Yeah.
kundalini energy and all this sort of stuff going on with that. Yeah, you'll find it interesting.
Yeah.
And you'll find probably a lot of stuff that you used to think was normal. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
We're meant to believe that it's
it's
good.
man-made.
Yeah.
How can something spiritual be wrong? We're supposed to be spiritual, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wrong spirit.
Yeah.
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 Right, it's the demon again, and Satan again.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
got all these little
yeah.
boxes for you to fit in.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
They're clever.
Everybody thinks Satan is this ugly, horrible looking,
Yeah.
you know, thing.
Yeah.
But he was actually the best looking angel. Absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, you name it,
Yeah.
whatever other words you can think, that was him.
Yeah.
And that's how he will come to you,
Yeah.
to seduce you to go back to where he wants you.
So they've only created the devil with the horns, so you believe in God and Jesus, which is still the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, oh, I got these. No, it's like,
Yeah.
That's
Same
it.
spirit.
Yeah.
Same spirit.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, I would do that when you get a chance.
Mm.
Research spiritualism.
Yes.
You'll see the source of it.
Yeah.
Spirits.
Witchcraft.
It's a mind melt
Yeah.
into all that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Spiritualism.
Yes.
I forget the names of the people who invented it, but it's the guy who wrote the books, Sherlock Holmes. He wrote a lot of it too.
Okay.
He invented a lot of spiritualism.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a bit rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to know it.
No. Don't want it.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's fair enough.
Alright. Wonderful, darling. Anybody like to add anything more?
No. Just remember, brothers and sisters, to follow Yahusha. Don't go back to the old works, the old shadows. There's nothing in them
No.
except death for you. Have a great night. Bye.